Thank you for coming, guys. This is entry level of children and their emotions for people who are just starting in childcare. Just really getting a knowledge and understanding of children and their emotions, and how we can get children to understand their own emotions. So I'm going to go through some housekeeping rules first of all. So we've got, if we can keep our phones on silent or on vibrate, if you put them in your pocket. If you are expecting any calls, please do feel free to take them, but can you step outside when you take them so not to disrupt the lesson. Toilets are just through the door and to the left down the corridor. If you've got any questions, please do ask questions as we are going along. And in the case of an emergency, the fire alarm isn't due to sound today, but if the fire alarm does sound, we will just take an exit to the right and down the stairs, and we'll be outside. We'll meet outside in the car park. So, how are you feeling today? So have a little think about how you're feeling today. What's your week been like? It's the run up to Christmas, so it's naturally quite stressful anyway. But what has your week been like? What has your day been like? And how do you feel sat here right now? If you don't mind sharing with me, of course. Tired? Yeah, of course, Friday. Yeah. It's Friday, it's the lead up to Christmas. Daniel, how do you feel?
A bit mad because I've had a bad day at work.
Bad day at work, yeah. Hopefully, because it's the weekend, you'll have a better weekend. But yeah, again, it's the end of the week, it's run up to Christmas, so then feelings are pretty ready for the big day where we're all really excited. So, if I showed you this colour, how does that make you feel?
Quite happy. It's quite a bright colour. Reminds me of the sun.
Happy, bright, sunshine, yeah. Brilliant. So, like you said, positive, happy, cheery, smiley. Quite often, jolly and happy people are described as yellow people, aren't they? What about this colour? What does red make you feel? Mad, angry, miserable, cross.
Frustrated.
So yeah, again, like we said, furious, frustrated, bad-tempered, almost like the red mist that comes over your eyes when you are in a stage of rage. What about this colour? What does this colour make you feel?
At peace.
At peace.
Calm.
Calming, relaxed. It's often used in a lot of spas because it's such a relaxing colour.
Yeah.
So like we said, peaceful, relaxed, content, quiet, a nice colour overall. So, children who have got good communication and language, how would they tell you that they were feeling sad?
Well, they could have a conversation
with
you.
So they have a conversation with you and tell you why they feel sad. Tell you what made them sad and what they can do to make themselves happy again. Fantastic. So we've got a little bit of a scenario for you. So you are a 3-year-old child, and this here is your favourite toy. This is your favourite thing to see in the tray when you walk in for your session. So we've got a bit of a background to this. So you're a 3-year-old child and you've had a very stressful morning. So your mum, you've got siblings, your mum's been shouting at your siblings all morning because they've lost a shoe, they've not brushed their teeth, they won't put their shoes on. You've not yet had breakfast because you have this at nursery because it's too much of a rush in the morning for mum to sort everything out. So you come and have breakfast at nursery. You get to nursery and you see your favourite toys in the tray. So you go running across over to it and pick up the black one because that's your favourite. So another child who's already playing there then pushes you over. You drop to the floor, you're very upset, you're screaming. And your favourite lady comes over, bends down, gets to your level and asks you what's wrong. So how do we then inform her what's wrong with us?
Well, we'd tell her what happened and who it was.
And who it was. They've nicked my train, I'm not happy about it, they've made me sad because they've pushed me over. So thinking now, you're this 3-year-old child who's had a hectic morning. If you've got no words to communicate, how do we then tell her what's just happened?
Could you ask another child what had happened if that child can't?
Yeah, so we could ask another child who was playing around that area what's just happened. Yeah, definitely.
Hand gestures, pointing.
Yeah, the child can use hand gestures to us, you know, it was them, it's because of this train. and then you kind of puzzle the rest together. Okay, well, they've not got the tray, you've not, and you're on the floor. So yeah, brilliant. Anything else you think we could probably use?
Props or
Props, yeah, brilliant. So we could use Makaton. So some children, I work with preschool, so some children are starting to use Makaton and would be able to say, you know, pushed, and what have you. I can talk to you at Makaton. Pointing, you know, it was them, they pushed me over. Trains. Facial expressions, so they can show you on their face they're upset because they were pushed, or they're cross because they've been pushed. And eye contact. So eye contact's a big one in childcare. You know, you get down to their level, you look at them in the face, you keep that eye contact to show them that they are the person you're focusing on at the moment, and you are going to make them feel better. So, non-verbal children, how can we help? So what kind of things could we put in? So you've said props, that's fantastic, well done. What other props could we put in?
emotion cards.
Yeah, emotion cards, amazing. So, like you said, emotion cards, always a good one to have. We can also put them on like a little ring, saves children having to look through cards. If they're on a ring, they can just move them over. Emotion stones, so they can, you know, they can describe how they're feeling. I'm cross, I'm sad, I'm not very happy. And the Colour Monster. Have you heard of the Colour Monster?
No.
So the Colour Monster is a book about this monster here, and he's feeling all these different colours. So he comes in and he's a mixture of all different colours because he's a bit confused about how he feels. And the little girl in the story helps him separate them colours. So, you know, yellow is happy, green is calm, blue is sad. And in the book it says, you know, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to cry. You need to cry to get rid of these feelings, and then we can move on to something else and we can make you feel better. At the end of the story, he then feels a new feeling he's never felt before, which is pink, which you can probably guess is
Love.
Like so he's feeling loved because she's helped him sort all his emotions out. Which is a really, really good way of linking with children how they feel. Not always understanding, you know, that's how they feel. However, this is what it feels like inside. So they're then matching how they feel inside to a colour, to a feeling, then help them self-regulate in future. So, I work in a preschool room. I've implemented Colour Monster in my room. So we've got the book, it's always out. We've got 2 or 3 copies for the children to read. We've got the flashcards that I have on my person. So, you know, child's on the floor crying, what's the matter, which one are you feeling? They're quite big, but they're just there for them to be able to look through. And then we have Colour Monster spoons. So some children aren't comfortable getting that close to you, so then they go and use the spoons. So self-regulation. Have you heard of self-regulation?
I think so.
Yeah? Do you know what self-regulation is?
No.
Is just regulating your own emotions.
Yeah. So, brilliant, well done. Managing and understanding your own behaviours and reactions. So how you behave in certain situations, how you react to situations, and understanding why you're doing that. You know, so how do you self-regulate?
Talking about my feelings.
Talking about your feelings, getting it off your chest. So in the mornings, I'll get all the girls in who come to work early in the morning. I make them all a cup of tea. We sit and have a 5-10 minute chat about what's happened that morning. You know, I've had an argument with my boyfriend, my car wouldn't start. My mum was doing my head in. All them things then brings them to that medium ground, so they're ready to go, welcome the children in, feeling in a relaxed state, ready to take on the day. Whereas if they're all over the place, they come in, that's going to then rub off on the children, and the children aren't going to know how to regulate their emotions because the staff are struggling with theirs.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we seem to have frozen. Have you got any questions?
So you put up the emotion stones and the colours. Is there one that you find works best for your age group?
So with the children I've got at the moment, I find that the colour monster seems to work better. I don't know if it's because it's new to the children. I went on a self-regulation training course and they told us about the colour monster. So I went away, I read it at home. I then implemented it into my settings, so I got the flashcards, a couple of copies of the book, because there's nothing worse than implementing it and then arguing over a book.
Yeah.
The spoons we've also got as well, so I have actually put my emotion stones away because they just weren't interested in them. I've also got plastic bottles with lids on that are filled with coloured card, so like green, yellow, red. So if ever a child just wants to grab one of them, like, you know, I'm red, I'm angry, and then we talk about what we can do to get them back down to that happy medium state.
Okay.
But I do think the colour monster is working a lot better. Again, like I said earlier, it's that noticing what that inside feeling feels like, as well as the external. With the emotions, although you feel sad, you may not always look sad. So it's about children thinking, actually, I don't look sad, but I do feel it inside, and understanding that that's okay too. Any other questions?
Do you think that the colours help children to feel empathy towards each other?
Yeah, so I think linking emotion to colour, again, bringing them back into that situation. You know, you've just pushed them over for this train. However, how would you feel if you were pushed over? You know, you would feel angry, you would feel red, and how you felt like that before, so let's not let them feel like that. So yeah, I do think it would make them feel empathy, yeah.
Do you find as well this is good for your children who have English as an additional language?
Yes, definitely. Obviously, we all talk different languages, but we all feel the same inside. So we do have children who not necessarily can't speak to us, but struggle to communicate because they haven't got that English. Again, understand that, you know, sad is this colour, angry is this colour, and they look like looking through the stories, because the colour monster is very good at showing emotion through the story as well. We also have another story called In My Heart, which links into the colour monster, and they talk about having like red in your heart sometimes, and that's okay, but this is what we can do to make you feel better. And some days you might feel blue in your heart, and again, that's okay, but this is what we can do to make it feel better. And equally, sometimes, you know, you might feel love and happiness because they go together. Sometimes you might feel anger and sadness because they go together. And really putting a depth into why you feel like that, as well as understanding why. Any other questions?
What do you think there's any basic cards to have on your lanyard, or do you just use them all?
So at the moment, I have got them all on my lanyard. However, I do notice that calm isn't quite often used. So I probably could take that one off, but there would always be that child that's like, I feel calm.
Yeah.
So I just have them all on my lanyard, just so they are aware. You know, sometimes they might feel upset, but actually they're quite calm with feeling upset. They're going to take themselves over there, they're going to read a book, and then they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so any other questions?
When you first implemented this, was it something that you did as a whole group? Did you read the story first and then the
yeah,
spoons?
so we introduced the story first and foremost. Like I said, I went on a training course, I came away, looked at this book myself, and implemented it in my room. So I got the book, read it to the children, it really took off. So then we did the spoons, the bottles, the flashcards. I did have the flashcards as well. And my children don't respond very well to group time at the moment, so sitting down and reading a story, they're not interested. I've got 16 very energetic preschoolers. So what we do is, first thing, we go all outside, we have our breakfast, we go outside, and I've got big cutouts of the colour monster, so they're put in different areas within the rooms, and then they, within the garden, sorry, we have a run round and we go to the colour of the monster that we're feeling that day. You know, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel angry. So the children who are sitting on that angry, sad, scared, we ask them why they're feeling that way, if there's anything we can do to help them feel better. And then we say to them, you know, we can go inside, do some painting, some Play-Doh, whatever they want to do to make them happy again on that middle ground.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Yeah.
So this obviously wouldn't load earlier. So remember, just put yourself in their position. The world can be a scary place for a little preschooler, especially when you're around them. So always get to their level, especially if they've got no language, and put things in place to make them feel at ease. So I have got a feedback form that I would like you to fill out for me. If you could fill that out and give it back to me. But thank you for coming,
Thank you very much.
and I hope you've learnt something.
Thank you.
Thank you.